Acting advice. There's a lot out there and it's hard to know what to listen to. So, we're turning to the most reliable source on the internet, TikTok. Maybe we'll learn something. Maybe.
Advice for actors, baby. Let's get into it. Number 1. Play the opposite of how the text is written. An example of this is I was watching Bridgerton yesterday and Penelope Featherington said, "Do not mock me." She said it with like a smile, and usually we would read that text and go, "Oh, she's mad." No.
She's talking about creating subtext. Basically when there's a deeper meaning behind the line rather than the literal. It's a line that you would typically read as angry, and she takes it in a kind of way, like smiling.
Do not be predictable. It is so much more interesting that way, I promise you. Number 2, the best piece of advice I have ever gotten as an actor is to act with your eyes. Number 3 is to...
She's not going to elaborate.
Here's something that you absolutely have to do during an audition in order to stand out from the rest of the pack.
I mean, you just be better. He is going to say, turn it on its head. Like, just do something crazy, like unexpected. Like, it's similar to the advice we got from the last girl. Do something against your first reading, against your first gut instinct. Let's see what he says.
You're awesome. Try not to view every audition as a make or break for you. Every audition is an opportunity to show them who you are. I have a client who's doing what she needs to be doing every single day as an actor, which is checking backstage and Actors Access. She found a great role for a Netflix feature film. They wanted her to include a 2-minute personality chat. If this character loves to shop, and one of the things they want you to talk about is a hobby that you love.
He still hasn't answered the question, like, what do you need to do? The one thing you must do in order to stand out.
We need to zoom out. It's not about the role. It's about showing the casting director who you are. They're going to be casting a lot more things down the road. If you're trying to show them that you're perfect for this one character, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Stop trying to be someone you think they want. If you want to become a working actor, hit that follow button.
That's not one thing, buddy. That's like you're suggesting that I, over a long period of time, form a connection with a human being. Wait, what? The question is, at the beginning, how can I audition for Netflix without an agent?
You absolutely have to do during on...
What the fuck? He didn't say anything about that. Am I crazy? Do I need to watch it again?
Audition for a Netflix feature film. They wanted her to include a 2-minute...
Okay, so he kind of answered the question. If you want to audition for Netflix without an agent, you have to look for those opportunities online. But then he just kind of hijacks it. Like, nothing of what he says is wrong. I'm just so confused. This was such a hard video to watch. But props to the editor when he said we gotta zoom out, and they zoomed out.
We need to zoom out. It's not about...
There it is.
Something that Tim and I established very early on. She doesn't blink. He likes it when I tilt my chin down and look through my eyebrows, kind of a Kubrick stare, and then I relax all of the muscles in my face. So I go... Oh my god.
That's useful. This is just really poorly, unfortunately, titled. She didn't mean that as like legit advice. This was like, this is what we did.
I think I got kind of annoying about it on set, to be honest, because I would have to restart a take if I started, because sometimes you start crying.
Yeah,
it was Romanian winter. There was all this wind in my face. I learned to blink on other people's lines.
Yeah, sure, you can blink.
Actor tips, how to cry on cue on camera.
When I need to cry on cue, I'll think of back to my time watching these tips on TikTok. This isn't the only video like this. People are obsessed with learning to cry on cue for some reason. It's just not what makes good acting. Like, the ability to physically cry. Well, let's see where she takes it.
If the actor's like, oh my god, I'm so sad. That looks forced and awkward and uncomfortable. As an actor, you actually don't want to try to cry. You kind of want to try not to cry. That's when it's going to seem most organic, when you're kind of holding it in and it actually looks like it's affecting you. Focus on how it's affecting your character.
You can't just cry for no reason. Like, there has to be something behind it. And she's describing working inside out, where you concentrate on your thoughts, your emotions, sometimes your past. People like to think about sad memories and things. Personally, I don't do that. I don't think it's very healthy or sustainable.
If you are able to make yourself cry, comment down below.
If you cried while watching this video, comment below. Worst thing to do as an actor. Ooh. Murder. Surely. Any of these? Wait, what? Worst things are things. Rape and murder. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Let's forget about not committing any crimes. The only one I kind of disagree with is a selfie. Like, if you really have nothing and it's your first ever audition, like, you can probably send a photo of you just taken from your phone. Maybe get someone else to take it for you against the wall, but a selfie will be fine. I've actually had casting directors like ask for a selfie. And they're like, I want to see exactly what you look like on this day, right now.
Here's some advice I wish I got when I moved to Los Angeles to be an actor. Stop smoking pot. Go to an acting school right now and get good at what you want to do. It's easy to make friends in LA, but it's hard to make good friends. In your first few years here, you're going to get invited to parties by predators. They're high-ups in different jobs. They're not looking to help you. They just want to have sex with you. So going to parties is not networking.
You heard it here first, folks. People want to have sex with you. Take that, put it on your self-esteem. But you know what? Turn them down. You don't need that. You don't need that kind of distraction. You're an actor.
Doing 1,000 auditions and not getting any of them is good for you. And it will help you not give a shit about auditions.
Yeah, that's very true. Of course, we're talking about self-tape auditions here. It's a different story if you're being called in. Usually not really happening these days. More like on the callbacks. You get called back in. Are they going to need to change the name for that? Because call back implies you've been there before. But now we're self-taping. We've never been anywhere. We're just in our houses. So called out?
Here are some things actors should not say in an audition.
Again, I just keep coming back to murder. Like, confess a crime, or like, or tell the casting director you have gonorrhea or something. I don't know.
So tell me a little about yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm an actor. I've been an actor since I was 5. I've been in like so many things. I love acting. Acting is my passion. Acting's everything for me. And you're in the audition because you're an actor. They know you like acting. You don't have to bring it up. Bring up stuff about you, like who you.
I like to, like, whenever they say, oh, you know, tell us about yourself. Yeah, I love music. I love listening to music. If the casting director has heard from 500 actors and 480 of them say, I can't wait to act in your television production, then it's going to be a bit weird. It's going to be like, oh, like, play it cool, you know? Just be like, yeah, I love music.
Do you treat your mom the same way you would treat your niece? Do you
yes.
treat your coworker the same way you would treat your doctor?
With respect, absolutely.
Assuming you're answering no to these questions, I think
you should never assume.
We can establish that our relationships from person to person vary. We show different sides of ourselves to different people. We express differently with different people. However, while acting, I've noticed that oftentimes actors lose those defined differentiations between relationship to relationship. Basically, as soon as you step out of...
Yeah, I mean, acting is reacting. You would react differently to your mum walking in on you showering than you would to your lover walking in on you showering, I hope.
Here are 5 tips for new actors. Stay and watch until the end. I'm
5 tips.
Christine Horn, the booking magnet. Tip number 1.
What? She has like a superhero name? The booking magnet?
There's nothing wrong with being a beginner. Sometimes I hear actors feeling bad because they're a beginner and they're feeling ashamed. Look, we all started somewhere. I started doing community theater for free and doing background work on TV and movies. Nothing's wrong with being a beginner as long as you are actively trying to get better.
That's true. That's true. Look, yeah, everyone starts somewhere, and your starting point is not going to be the same as everyone else's. Some people start with money, some people start with debt. Who knows? Everyone's circumstances are different. Just focus on yourself when it comes to your journey.
Everybody has an opinion, and that's okay. Take what you need from each person, put it in your toolbox, and when you need it, pull it out. But don't fall for anyone who tells you that there's only one way to do something.
Very
we're actors.
True.
We're always trying on new things, okay? There's lots of people who will say, just focus on the acting. All that matters is the acting in your auditions. Yes, and, little improv for you, yes, and.
No wonder they call her the booking magnet. That was incredible.
We need to be able to hear you. We need to be able to see you. We need some light. That's tech. Even when you don't book a job, look, I haven't booked hundreds of roles. I've auditioned thousands of times. Most of the jobs I don't get, and I work a lot. So it's important for you to know that when you don't book a job, it's not a direct attack on you. You were just not the right person for that job.
You can't let yourself get down because you didn't book something. I mean, yeah, there's like that healthy period of mourning of like, oh, I really wanted that, but I didn't get it. I might have some ice cream tonight. But then, you know, move on, let it go, throw the script in the bin, be ready to take on another one because, you know, you'll get more rejection than you will get yeses.
Hi, I'm an actor, and these are things you don't need to be an actor. Pretty.
Yeah, you don't need to be pretty.
Not to be cheesy, but we're all gorgeous. But let's say you think you don't fit in the conventional standard of beauty today. You're literally fine. There's a place for everyone. Calm down.
There's a place for all looks and body types in cinema, film, and television. I still feel like we're not quite there with representation. I think there's been a lot of good steps taken towards including people of color more broadly, where it's not necessarily a story that is focused on people of color. It's just an open, like, oh, it's an open role, could be anyone. I feel like more people of color are getting cast in those roles, which is good. And as a white man, go for it. I welcome it. There's always going to be plenty of work for everyone.
Never let yourself be defined by how you look. Never do that, because it'll be over soon.
I don't think Emma Thompson's TikTok account is Poppy Rapovs somehow.
And you won't develop, so it's just over. So if people go on and on about how you look, you have to challenge it. You can't just take it in, you have to challenge it. You have to put up a barrier against that, and you have to act. If someone asks you or says to you that you have to be thinner, then you have to challenge them by saying, why? Is my character a thin person? Is my character thin because they are suffering from some sort of eating disorder? Give me a reason. Because if this is a cosmetic reason, then what you want is a model and not an actress.
Yeah, and to the same effect, don't feel like if you're a guy, like, don't feel like you need to be, you know, swole to the nth degree and have muscle coming off every bone in your body. And I mean, it's good to see the two ends of the spectrum here. I mean, Emma Thompson being a veteran, talking about similar things that the up-and-coming actress we saw before, she was struggling with her appearance, and Emma Thompson struggled with the same thing. So
do not sign with a top agency. I'm talking about UTA, CAA, WME. If you are signing with a top agent at UTA or any of those other top agencies I mentioned, you might think that that's really amazing. You might be really excited and ecstatic to be on the same roster as someone such as Ryan Reynolds or Emma Stone. But here's why that's a bad thing. Look, if you have a top agent at a top agency and they're normally approached to fill the top 3 roles on a call sheet, if you're someone who's new and starting out and doesn't have recognizable face and you're more like 12th on a call sheet, then they're not going to be the one that's best to represent you because you're just going to get lost in their roster. So let's clarify. I'm not saying never to join one of those top agencies, but not when—
She's right. Studios, executives, casting directors if I was able to fill those top spots, they would find me wherever I am. If I was generating enough buzz or hype or interest or talented enough and proven, tested, they will come find me. And then they will offer me the roles. And then it might be a good idea to join those top agencies.
It's about not joining it prematurely. You want to be on a roster where you're able to shine and where you know your agent is going to be able to put you forward.
That's what you should be looking for. Opportunities.
Make sure you download the Backstage app today. Good luck.
Is that an ad? Did I just watch an ad? Damn it. This is a cool little idea. You can see your setup. You can see the light coming off the corner, the microphone there. Very fancy. Very nice. When we really get into it, you can see just the plain wall. She's just well lit and audible. That's really all that matters.
Okay, listen up. Here are 5 pieces of acting advice I wish I had before I started acting. Number 1, casting is subjective. Acting is not a meritocracy. The best person for the job doesn't always necessarily get it. If you don't get
yeah. And effort in does not necessarily equal results out, unfortunately. That's it. That's all we've got for today. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. I'm probably never going to do this again. It was a little bit painful at times. But hey, see ya.